News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Are you hungry? We've got food!
And lots of it!
Wolfie's Restaurant is famous for their food and great racing atmosphere. So if you're looking for the best barbecue ribs, beef barbecue, pulled pork sandwiches with homemade chips, pizza, wings, chicken strips, and so much more,
Come to Wolfie's!
537-1111.
Well, as you may know, this weekend was a wild weekend as far as winds are concerned. We're going to speak to Lieutenant Anita Smith from Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue.
We did. We had that early, about 8 o'clock that morning.
Nobody was in the vehicle?
No. The reports came out as a rollover, but there were no occupants there when we got there.
That person took off then?
It's assumed, yeah.
And were we able to locate him, or we don't know?
No. The police and the fire department both gave big efforts to try to find somebody in the vehicle, and there was nobody around in the area.
I know that we had a lot of high winds this weekend, which caused havoc all over town. Give us a little rundown of what happened this weekend.
We had quite a few wind calls. We had a carport that had unlodged from its base and flipped up into power lines. VEA came and shut the power down and removed that from there.
That was on Bunch Street, right?
That was on Bunch Street, yeah. Across the road from that, we had another tree that had fallen, actually a limb of a tree that had fallen on top of a house. So we made efforts to cut that off the roof and make it safe for the residents to re-enter.
I noticed that you guys did that very slowly, piece by piece, taking it down so that he wouldn't have any damage to his roof. That area seems to be like a little bit of a wind tunnel, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's strange that those would be right across the street from each other. So apparently something went through there, pretty good wind blast or what have you. But yeah, our main goal was not to create any more damage to the house. The house was pretty lucky. The gentleman was lucky not to have any damage to the roof. So our goal was to take it down slowly and safely and just make sure that we didn't create any more damage and get it out of the way for him.
What was the end result of that carport up into the power lines? How did we get it down and secure?
Actually, VEA handled that because it was in the power lines. So they removed the carport and used their bucket truck to take that down and place it back on the ground on its back.
What other reports do we have?
Oh my, we had a couple of brush fires that day. I'm not sure how they started exactly, but the wind causes a big problem with the brush fires, obviously. It spreads them very, very quickly. But we were able to get there quickly and get them under control. As well, we had a lot of roof problems. We had 2 incidences where unsecured tin roofs were coming off of structures, and that becomes a problem because they just become a sail. And once they come off the structure, they can hit people, other houses, structures, cars. So they can do a lot of damage.
The wind really gets up underneath that aluminum roof on some of those mobile homes there. The nails don't seem to be very long as well.
Yeah, the problem is with some of the older model single wides and that, it's the older houses and the older structures, and the roofs just aren't. They've taken this beating for a long time, so they just become weak and they eventually, just come up. So they just need some extra care and attention to secure them down.
We've had some issues with carports in the past. Maybe people thinking that they don't need anything to secure them down. What is recommended for securing those carport legs down?
Well, obviously I'm not a construction worker, but I would say at the minimum you're going to want to concrete that in and maybe do some lag bolts into the concrete to secure that well. The problem is carports are literally just a sail out here. If they're not secured really, really well, the wind can get a hold of them and then up they go. We have some pretty good wind blasts out here that creates havoc occasionally.
And not only dangerous for humans, but dangerous for the rest of your property.
Absolutely. When they become a sail, the wind will catch them and they'll just fly, and whatever's in their path, they'll destroy.